These are some books I have acquired throughout the month of June. Okay, hear me out. Don't start judging me quite yet. Like, half of these were sent to me by publishers and authors, so it's not as bad as it looks. Sorry, Bowie. But anyways, we've got some stuff to go through, and I thought we could go through it together. I literally do not have any space to put these on. I literally have no shelf space. I think I'm gonna have to like double stack or something. I don't know, but thought we could go through it together. Hello my little raindrops, welcome back or welcome home. My name is Desiree and I am so glad to have you here. So I'm just going to be quickly going through all the books I've acquired and giving you some context as to why I got them. That's that. These are not books that I've read, so I won't be giving you reviews obviously, but yeah, let's just get into it. I don't know where to start, so I'm just going to take anything. What is this? Yes. Hope to Die by Kara Hunter. I was sent this by William Morrow. I do believe they sent me the entire series. I read Kara Hunter's Murder in the Family last year. Really enjoyed it. It was sort of like one of the first books I read to like get myself into the mystery thriller genre. I enjoyed it. I really like the format that Kara writes in, especially with like the scripts and everything. So excited for this. More Days at the Morisaki Bookshop by Satoshi Yagisawa. This was also sent to me by HarperCollins. I actually got the ebook a few months ago and I did read the book, and this is book 2 of Days at the Morisaki Bookshop and very much gave the same vibes as book 1. Get your tissues ready for like the halfway point. That shit gets deep. Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. I got this specifically for Indigenous History Month. I did flip through a few of the pages, but I wasn't able to like read the entire thing. So I started a thing where I keep a nonfiction book on my nightstand every night and just like read a few pages of nonfic before bed. And so right now I'm currently reading a memoir. After that I want to read another book that was sent to me. Actually, I'm gonna need to go and get that to show it to you because I got it yesterday. But after that, I think I'm gonna read this one. I've just been growing my nonfiction shelf quite a bit recently because I am just finding myself a bit more intrigued by it. So, got this one. This was purchased by me, so not sent. The next book we've got, Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I read Next of Kin. When did I read it? I read it in May. And I realize now that was not the first book to like read in the series. Is it a series? I don't even know. But anyways, I read Next of Kin, really loved it. I love Hannah. We're friends on TikTok and she's so sweet. She's such a nice person. And this came out like as the traditionally published copy because I do have the indie pub, but I wanted both. So here we are. Next, I got A Prayer for the Crown Shy by Becky Chambers. This is book 2 after A Psalm for the Wild-Built, which I read in June. And I loved it so much, and I just obviously wanted to finish the duology. So I got the second book, and there was only one left at my bookstore, so I was very happy about it. After that, I got The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden, which is the most recent book of the Housemaid trilogy. It came out relatively recently, and I just read the second book, The Housemaid's Secret, in June as well. And it wasn't the best thing I've ever read, but I was definitely intrigued and still want to know what happens in this book. So I got it. It was on sale. So after that, this was sent to me. This is a big ass brick. This is a book that I have seen literally everywhere on TikTok. Hasn't been on my FYP in a while though, but this is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I don't exactly know what this is about. I just know that it's a romantasy. A lot of people have spoken highly about it. A lot of people have said they don't like it either. But this was sent to me by HarperCollins, so I want to give it a shot. I don't know where it's gonna go. I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I don't know if I'm gonna commit to this entire thing. We'll see eventually, because I do want to at least give it a shot and, you know, build my own opinion on it. The cover is stunning though. Next, this was sent to me by the author. This is an indie book. I'm not quite sure how you would pronounce it. Morstua, I don't know. But it's by Laura Victoria Kant, and it's basically If you could make a pact with death and have your life saved, who would you sacrifice within the people you love? So it's sort of like a mystery, thriller, darker fantasy, death story type thing. And I have been wanting to get more into this genre, so it's very much a book that I'm looking forward to get into. Seeing all of these is really making me wonder where I'm gonna put them and when I'm gonna have the time to read them. The next book I got, I was terrified when I got at the cash register and paid for this, because this is my first horror book. I think it's more of a thriller. No, it's a work of horror. Okay. And this is Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. When I saw the name, it rang a bell. And I didn't read what was at the very bottom. I completely forgot that Stephen is the one who wrote Perks of Being a Wallflower. How does he go from writing The Perks of Being a Wallflower to writing this? I don't know what this talks about. I just know it talks about an imaginary friend. And I know that the font is tiny. What is up with that? Why is it so small? Why is there math in here? Oh wow. Interviews? Oh, therapist. Oh, this is intriguing. I actually think I might have a fun time with this. Not for the faint-hearted. Well, maybe this will train my heart a little bit. I don't know. But I do plan on doing like an actual reading vlog when I start this, just because I want to document me reading my first ever horror book. So Annie, do you want to say hi? No? Okay. Can't believe I actually bought that myself. Next, this was also sent to me, and I'm very, very excited for it because it was the 2024 winner of the Canada Reads thing. This is The Future by Catherine Leroux, and it was translated from French to English, which I'm French, so this is, I don't know, it's kind of fun to think that this was in my native language. I wasn't quite sure what it was about, and when the publisher reached out and were like, are you interested? I was like, you know what? I think I am. Sort of like a dystopia, sci-fi type of story, which I do feel like I would really enjoy. And as someone who has been thinking about, you know, just dabbling in the world of literary translation, it's really interesting to think about reading a book that was translated from French to English, because that is something I could do as someone who is fluent in both languages. So I'm very eager to jump into this. And the publisher sent me just so many goodies in the package. That's what you do when you support small. After that, there are so many stickers on here, please get off. Then I got Love Unwritten by Laura Nasher because I read Love Redesigned earlier in the year, I think, and I really enjoyed it. I had a really fun time reading it, and even though she's chunky, I went through Love Redesigned so quickly, most likely because it's romance. But I couldn't miss out. I had to get it. It's just too pretty. Next, this was also sent to me by HarperCollins. This is a graphic novel called Heavyweight, a family story of the Holocaust, Empire, and Memory by Solomon J. Brager. In my last year of university, I took a course called Graphic Women, where we basically read just graphic memoirs written by women about their lives. And I just completely and utterly fell in love with the graphic memoir format. So when HarperCollins reached out and they were like, would you be interested in reading, you know, Solomon's graphic memoir, I was like, send it over, please. I need more of these because I miss that class so much. But the art style is just so interesting. Next, one of my most recent purchases actually is a novel love story by Ashley Poston. Ashley is 1000% one of my auto-buy authors. Anything she writes, I will buy and I will read. So I first fell in love with her writing with The Dead Romantics, which is one of my favorite books, and then The 7-Year Slip, another one of my favorite books. And I just know this is gonna hit just as hard because Ashley has such an impactful way of writing about grief. She just knows what she's doing, and I just love her books so much, and I'm very excited to jump into this. Her car breaks down unexpectedly on the way, finds herself stranded in a quaint town that seems like it's right out of a novel, because it is. Oh, she's in the town from her favorite romance series? Whoa, okay, I did not expect that. And there's a character in that town that she can't place. A grumpy bookstore owner? Stop! Stop it right now. How did I not know what this was about? My god, That sounds so good. Okay. This is one of the options for our July book club pick, and I'm now very much hoping that people vote for this because I would love to read this with the club because, oh my gosh, it sounds so good. Okay, after that, I got an ARC that I had requested a few months prior, never got an email or anything, and then the book just showed up at my door. This is Blood of the Old Kings by Sung-il Kim, and it's translated by Anton Her, one of my favorite translators ever. I purchase every single book they've translated. I literally have a collection of their works like just sprinkled throughout my bookshelves, and I love them as a person and I love their work, you know, as a translator. And so I was just so thrilled to get this book. It's like definitely more of like a high fantasy, which again, something I want to get more into because I've been more acclimatized to, is that the right word? I don't know, but I've read more romantasy than high fantasy, and I want to get more into that genre as well. This is another ARC that was sent to me, and I spoke directly with the author who wanted to send it to me specifically, which was just such a special experience. Plus, I got some artwork and a long handwritten letter, and the copy is signed. So this is very meaningful to me, and I don't think I will ever get rid of it. But this is The Enchanted Lies of Céleste Artois by Ryan Grodin. It was pitched as sort of like something similar to The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which I really enjoyed. And so I'm just so thrilled to read this. It comes out August 27th, which is 3 days after my birthday. So I'm just so excited. The cover is stunning. I love stories set in Paris. I just love it so much. And look at the art. It's so pretty. Then, a few weeks ago, I also got The Honey Witch by Sydney J. Shields. I have spoken with Sydney a few times, and she's such a sweet person. And you know me, like ever since I read Small Favors, anything that has to do with honey, I'm obsessed with it and I want to buy it. And like honey and bees, just give it to me already. And so this was a must buy. It's a Honey Witch. I don't think I'm ever gonna get over this cover. It's so pretty. You will know that I am a fall girly at my core, okay? The summer, as much as I love the sun, as much as I love summer dresses and going to the beach occasionally and like long walks on the beach and all of that, I love fall even more. I love taking a walk on the beach with a nice chunky sweater, with a warm beverage in my hand, and just fall is my favorite season forever and always. And I was craving more fall-y books, and I've just seen so many people talk about The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young, and I read Spells for Forgetting. I loved it so much. Just the perfect mix of whimsical fantasy with some mystery, murder sort of elements to it. And I just know this is going to be another great introduction for me to get more into the mystery genre. So obviously I got it. I don't know when I'm going to read it. I'm a little sad that it's in hardcover because I do typically like tend to pick a paperback over a hardcover anytime, like whether I be buying the book or whether I be choosing a book on my shelves to read, I'm gonna go for the paperback. But I am very excited to read this. Okay, next we have a bunch of ARCs. Again, that was sent to me by HarperCollins. So most of them I'm not quite sure what they're about. But this first one is Songlight by Moira Buffini. Cover is beautiful. I don't think it's the final cover though, because it does says final cover to be revealed. But it says, Lark and Nightingale each harbor the secret of Songlight, the ability to telepathically connect with others. Songlight is reviled in their world, and if they're discovered, it could mean death. Each girl is in a desperate situation, and connecting in Songlight is the only solace they have. But doing so will put them in the crosshairs of a war that threatens to destroy the world as they know it. And then we've got The Unfinished by Cheryl Isaacs. This is The Blackwater has been waiting, watching, hungry for the souls it needs to survive. For some reason, it reminds me of Something Manor. You know, like there's a manor where like there's some kind of dead woman that comes out of the lake. Anyways. When small-town athlete Avery's morning run leads her to a strange pond in the middle of the forest, she awakens a horror the townspeople of Crooks Falls have long forgotten. And as the Blackwater haunts Avery, taking a new form each time, people in town begin to go missing. When Kay, her best friend and longtime crush, is the next to disappear, Avery is faced with a choice. Listen to the advice of her Mohawk elders, and save the town but lose her friend forever, or listen to her heart and risk everything to get Kay back. In her stunning debut, Cheryl Isaacs pulls the reader down into an unsettling tale of monsters, mystery, and secrets that refuse to stay submerged. Again, I think this will get me into my horror era. Maybe I should read this before Imaginary Friends. I don't know. But it comes out in October, which is perfect timing for spooky season. And then, The Capital of Dreams by Heather O'Neill. A breathtaking dark fairy tale of survival and betrayal from the vivid imagination of Heather O'Neill. Sophia Bottom lives in a small country that Europe has forgotten, but inside its borders, the old myths of trees that come alive and fairies who live among their roots have given way to an explosion of the arts and the consolations of philosophy. It has, I think it's like a historical fiction mix with some magical realism? I don't know, but I'm excited to see where this goes. Okay, these are two more that were sent to me by HarperCollins. The first one, The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. I read this in September last year. I read the ebook. This is the coziest thing I've ever read in my entire life. Like, even A Psalm for the Wild Build, just, this screams Gilmore Girls. It's just so good, and it feels like fall, and it meeks. Looking at it right now, like holding it in my hands, makes me sort of like, I don't know, what's the word? Like aching for fall to be here. Because I remember when I read this in September last year, it was such a cozy time. I remember just like reading all cozy in bed with hearing the leaves rustle outside. It was just such a lovely time. And basically it follows Jeannie, who inherits her aunt's beloved Pumpkin Spice Cafe for the time because she's like, her aunt is on vacation. And then there's just like a really small mystery that's going on at the cafe because there's like some things disappearing and stuff breaking. And then she meets Logan, the local farmer, because he's a grumpy grump. It's just so sweet. And Jeannie is very much a happy-go-lucky, and Logan is a grump, and it just reminds me of Lorelai and Luke so much. Oh, they're so sweet. And the cover, look at the cover. Anyways, and then I also got, I think this is like the 10-year anniversary cover of White Hot Kiss by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which I read this series over 3 years ago, which I remember loving it so much. So it's really fun to have like this special edition. This is the box that I got yesterday. I swear, Bloomsbury makes the most fun goodie boxes ever. They always have a tote bag, which for me, you own my heart if you send me a tote bag. But do you want to know what like stole my heart even more? Not only did they send me a tote bag and a book, they sent me a notebook. If you know me in stationery, you know that this is the way to my heart. Anyways, the book is Powerful by Maisie Hill. So this is a nonfiction book that sort of addresses procrastination and people-pleasing. So like the sort of synopsis is, are you a people pleaser? Do you have difficulty with procrastination or react to situations defensively? Are you stuck in a vicious circle of prioritizing others, leaving you feeling irritated, worked up, or just completely overwhelmed? Then this book is for you. And when Bloomsbury reached out and said, we would love to send you this book, and I read that description, at that point in time, I was just so overwhelmed with work, but also overwhelmed with just like everything that was going on in my life. And it also made me realize that I had not been putting myself first. And so I told them, you could not have reached it out at a better time, because I feel like this is, I don't know, must be fate, because this is exactly me right now. This is going to be a nightstand book that I'll be reading a few pages of every evening. And I'm very excited to read it because I've heard good things about the author's previous books, which I also want to read her book Period Power, just because I've been wanting to educate myself a bit more on how a woman's hormones work throughout, you know, our cycle, and try to learn just what I can do to make it as easy as possible, because it's just, I want to take better care of my body, and I feel like reading books about it is going to be much more effective than watching any sort of video or anything like that. So I'm trying to find as many books that just really have the stats and the research to provide me with the resources needed. And then these are all books that I bought myself. So of course I got Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I am a pretty big fan of Allie's. I do read everything she writes. I did not read Bride. I have the book. I'd started it and I just wasn't feeling anything like fantasy-esque at that time. So I'm a little bit, you know, behind on her book list, but I do typically really enjoy her books. They are sort of like easy, quick reads for me because they're funny, they're spicy, they're good. Not necessarily anything that's been like life-changing for me in comparison to some other books that I've read. But I'm still a very big fan and I'm excited to get into this one because I've heard some good things. So there's that. And then this is a book that I've been wanting to read for a long time because apparently it was a very big inspiration for Hayao Miyazaki, who is the producer and slash owner of Studio Ghibli. So this is How Do You Live by Genzaburo Yoshino with a foreword by Neil Gaiman. This is also a book that I saw on Pinterest, which if you saw that, I think I have 2 videos in like my Pinterest book series that I'd started on TikTok. I haven't worked on that in so long. Gosh, I'm terrible at it. But this is a book that I saw on Pinterest and it's a book that I want to read specifically for that series, but also because of Hayao Miyazaki. This is said to be the Japanese classic about finding one's place in the world, beloved by millions since its original publication in 1937. And it's now available in English for the first time. I'm very excited. Yes, it says here, Academy Award-winning animator Hayao Miyazaki has called it his favorite childhood book and announced plans to make it the basis of his expected final film. We all know that man is gonna be creating movies until his very last breath. So every time he says this is his final movie, I typically tend not to believe it. But anyways, next I got The God in the Gumiho. This is book 1, so I'm assuming there will be more that come. But the main reason why I got it was because of the cover. I have not read Legends and Lattes, but I feel like a lot of us know what the plot is. And this sounds a lot like it. I'm a little bit hesitant about talking about it because I feel like it's so similar. But I haven't read the books, so I can't, you know, do a full comparison of it. But it basically follows Kim Han-hee, who has retired from a life of devouring souls. She is, simply put, too full. Once known as the infamous Scarlet Fox, she now spends her days working incognito in a coffee shop and annoying a particularly irritating, if unfairly handsome, trickster god as often as she can. And so that god is Sokka, the Fallen. He's been exiled from the heavenly kingdom of Okwang, and he now begrudgingly resides in the mortal realm. So the two of them will have to work together for like this one last big thing. I'm a very big fan of Korean folklore. So this is why it was like an instant, like, just give it to me, because I saw Gumiho and I was like, ah, that's what it is, give it to me. So I'm very excited to read it and see how it goes. And I do feel like I will have to eventually read Legends and Lattes to do like a full comparison. Then I got Trial of the Sun Queen by Nisha J. Tooley, because there's this one person I follow on Fable and she read the entire series, and the updates that she was posting were so funny, but she was sharing quotes of the book and it sounds really good, and I just got way too curious not to give in. So I got it. And then I got Next to You by Hannah Bonham Young, which is Hannah's first book. So technically, I'm assuming this is what I should have read in the first place. I don't know if the books are intertwined or not. I'm assuming they're not. I don't know, but I got this. The next one, this is Old Flames and New Fortunes by Sarah Hoggle. This was meant to be, well, this was my June book club pick, and June was a little bit all over the place, and I didn't get to it. So, unfortunately, I still need to get to this. So it's a second chance romance with her high school sweetheart who broke her heart, and she's a flora fortunist, and she teams up with one of her friends to attend this big wedding, and she sees him there, and anyways, it's basically just a second chance romance. And I did really enjoy Sarah Hoggle's You Two Deserve Each Other, which is also a second chance romance, and I feel like she writes them in a very fun way. Some of my club members were a little bit hesitant about this one because apparently the FMC is slightly annoying. We're gonna see. I will eventually get to it. And then last but not least, this is a book that I've been seeing on Fable a lot, and I just got so intrigued because, again, I want to get more into like sci-fi things, and I'm also a very big fan of astronaut books, TV shows, movies. So this is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, who's the author of The Martian. I love the movie. I've never read the book. because I didn't know it was based on a book, so I need to read it eventually. Ryland Grace is the sole survivor on a desperate last chance mission, and if he fails, humanity and Earth itself will perish. So the thing is, he doesn't know that because he's lost his memory. He just knows that he's been asleep for a very long time, and he's just woke up to find himself millions of miles from home with nothing but 2 corpses from company. So his crewmates are dead, he's lost his memory, it's slowly starting to come back, he's on a super important mission, he doesn't know what he's doing, but then he's, again, slowly starting to remember. So this sounds insane. And with that, those are all the books that I've acquired in like the past month. I cannot believe I have that. How many do I have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22,
29. 29. Holy shit. I feel like at some point I have to like create a database of all the books I own and actively start tracking all of them, because I just keep buying more and I don't make a dent. I don't read enough of them. Oh my god. Anyways, if you've read any of these books, please do let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your critiques. I would love to hear it. And if you have any more recommendations, I mean, I've already made this much damage, so what's another book, right? Right. If this was your first Rainy Days Library video and you've stayed up to this point, thank you so much for watching this entire thing. I would love to welcome you to the family if you're interested. So if you'd like to join, you can subscribe. We talk books, we talk lifestyle, we talk finding ourselves after academia, we talk just a bunch of fun things on this channel. It's honestly more of a digital diary more than anything else. So if that's your thing, you know where to find the button. And with that, I will let you go. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.